Brimfield, a quiet little community located in central Massachusetts in the heart of New England. With a population of just over 5,000, it's a typical small town for most of the year. But for a few days in May, July, and September, the village transforms itself into what many regard to be the antiques capital of the world during the Brimfield Antique and Collectibles shows. 2009 marks the 50th anniversary of the very first show at J&J's Auction Acres, where it all began a half-century earlier.
My dad, Gordon Reed Sr., started the antique shows, outdoor antique shows here in Brimfield in September of 1959. There were 67 exhibitors at the very first show, and they'd open up their station wagons. At that time, there weren't tents or anything. There weren't the Winnebagos and motorhomes that you have now. They'd open up the trunks of their cars and spread out a blanket and just put their wares on the ground or wherever.
Since that summer of 1959, the Brimfield shows have grown to include 20 different fields on over 100 acres, drawing some 5,000 dealers and nearly 1 million collectors annually from the world over.
What's really fascinating is the breadth of people that come here. I mean, we've seen people from every country in the world just about, and Europe, the rest of the United States, and Brimfield is a tiny little town, and yet 3 times a year it's international, and it's just hard to imagine any other place like it.
It creates an annual economic impact for the area that's estimated to be between $40 and $50 million. The transformation from sleepy village to teeming marketplace takes place in just a few hours and, in many cases, before daybreak. Field openings are scheduled for different days and times during show weeks to handle the overflow crowds. And with the opening of the gates, the Brimfield Antiques and Collectibles shows are on. The Travel Channel calls the Brimfield shows the best in the world. So what is it about Brimfield that makes it so special? And why do so many make the pilgrimage year in and year out?
I think the quality of antiques, for the most part, the displays are beautiful. Most people take time, they take hours to set up their booths, and it would be as if you were walking into an individual antique shop. But it is truly a family affair. Even with the exhibitors, we've placed them near friends as opposed to categories of merchandise.
There's so many types of antiques and collectibles besides furniture. There's silver, glassware, lighting, jewelry, art, fine art, paintings, and sculptures, and there might be something you got to have that you didn't know you needed, and I've had that happen to me many times. So much to see and so much to learn, and it's a joy to be here.
You can walk around here, it's like a museum. The dealers are knowledgeable and know what they're talking about. I mean, it's just like going to college around this place. I mean, there's lessons to be learned constantly.
If you have some kind of a notion that there are certain things that are missing in your life, whether it's of food, or whether it's of objects, or whether it's of personalities, or whether it's a sensibility and a way of looking at the world, everybody can make a contribution, and you can make a contribution to everybody else. And Brimfield is as good a place to do it as any.
As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of J&J's Auction Acres and the resulting history of hundreds of Brimfield shows, millions of visitors, and who knows how many wonderful memories and friendships created on its fields, we pause to remember the man whose passion and vision made it all happen, Gordon Reed Sr.
He decided to open the field to exhibitors of antiques that could come to his Auction Acres site here in Brimfield and do all their shopping at once. Thank you, Dad. And I hope we've made you proud.
Like many of the items and people you'll find on the fields here, The Brimfield shows are truly one of a kind. And whether you come here every season or you're just visiting for the first time, one thing's for certain. What happens here rarely stays here.
Just about everyone leaves with something.